Hello everyone, it's Jessica here with another layout for the ThermOWeb design team. Today I'm using some Deco Foil Duo Transfer Gel to create some stenciling on this fun birthday layout. So I pulled out the stencil by Tim Holt and I am just going to adhere it down to my page using some of this pixie tape since it's removable and it won't rip up my paper. So I just want that stencil to not go anywhere. So I'm pulling out my Duo gel here and my Stencil Pal. The Stencil Pal actually comes in a pack of 2. And I am just using a spatula to get some out of the pot and onto my Stencil Pal and then just sliding it across my stencil to get a super smooth application. And then just picking that up, I'm going to wipe that up off my glass mat because it does kind of dry on there fast. And then I'm just putting it back down at the top. I'm repositioning a little bit of that Duo gel to the bottom of my Stencil Pal so it doesn't go all over the top. And then I'm just smushing it back on that top section. And then I'm just going to flip my paper because I want the stenciling to go on the sides of my layout. So I've just flipped it around the other way. I'm going to repeat this process on this side. So here's the bottom section and then I will put it on the top and finish this side up. And then I'm going to go ahead and rinse all of this off right now and clean everything up. That way it won't dry on my Stencil Pal or anything. So I am going to set that aside to dry. And while that's drying, I've pulled out my Olfa cutting tools, my mat, my ruler, and my cutting blade here. And I have cut out a number 2 from my electronic cutting machine already, just in some white cardstock. And then I've grabbed a bunch of photos from my son from the month of August when he turned 2. And I've just pulled out a whole bunch from that month. And I am just adhering them, creating a collage in the shape of this number 2, using that cardstock as my base for the shape. So I'm just adhering my photos down, trimming them as I go. And I'm just going to use my memory tape runner for adhering my photos to my number, and then I'm just cutting the excess off with my X-Acto knife here by Olfa, and I'm using the ruler on the straight edges. So it's super easy to do. It just takes a little bit of time and kind of coordinating all of these photos to where you want them to go and where you want them to fit into your shape. So I've done this with other numbers before as well. I just love it. It's a really, really great way to use a lot of photos on one scrapbook page. So I'm tucking this one up here in the top corner. Kind of got it a little bit off. I didn't really want to cut much of him off on the left side, so I ended up moving it over a little bit. And I'm going to tuck this other photo right beside him of my son standing up. This was actually the day of his party, right before his party. We were all ready to go and set up, and he was just kind of hanging out in the yard. So I'm just adhering everything down with that tape runner again and trimming it as I go. I've got a few more photos here to go yet. I keep pulling this one up because I wanted to get it just right so that it doesn't cut much of his body off whenever I trim that number 2 out of there. But I ended up trimming off that right side of the photo because that's really what was bugging me and kind of hanging that up, is because that excess was hanging over there on that other photo and I had that one right where I wanted it to be. So I've just trimmed that excess off. I'm going to use my ruler on this straight edge here. It seems to be the easiest way for me, and I just freehand the rest of it. And you can use scissors to do this as well. If you don't have cutting mat and tools, you can absolutely trim this out with scissors too. So I am just going to see what other photos I want to use. This one doesn't really match as good as all the other ones. All my other photos seem to be greens and blues and outdoors. That one there at the top was him just playing with some extra little blocks and trim pieces from our house renovation. And it's kind of got a lot of different color going on in that photo. So I ended up not even using that one at all. This one here is a couple of photos that he was outside playing in the mud. I've actually already done a layout with the photos that went with those, so I'm just using these 2 extra ones up, and I'm just going to trim the bottom of this one off because I just want to use that little square. Well, I guess it's kind of like a triangle by the time I trim it all off, but I just wanted to use that little piece. So I'm just lining it up on my grid here on my cutting mat and cutting it with my ruler placed down there to get my straight edge. That's how I like to trim down my photos sometimes. So I'm just continuing to work on these photos, trying to decide what I want to fill in this little spot here. And then I decided to trim down my one photo into a triangular shape to overlay on the other one. And then while all this is going on, my actual cardstock beside me is drying. So it's got that duo gel on it, and you want to let that dry a good 45 minutes. It depends on the climate and how humid it is, but I live in Pennsylvania, so it's usually dry in about 40 minutes for me. And then I'm going to go ahead and heat up my hot laminator so it's ready to go. And I'm going to grab a couple craft and carrier sheets so that I can sandwich that between those to run it through my laminator. So these are the last couple photos that are going on. Again, just putting them down here with my tape runner. And this photo here, I'm actually just going to trim off to make it a little bit triangular at an angle here. And I'm moving it down to overlap the other layout or the other picture a little bit. So I'm going to place that right there and then just trim off the last couple edges here to make my number 2. I love how this turns out. Oh yeah, and this is the point where things start disappearing off my desk because my baby girl is right here at my desk. There's her little fingers in the bottom, but she's here and she's grabbing everything off my desk, so things just start flying off and disappearing. So here I'm pulling out my Deco foil. I'm going to use black today for this. I just wanted it to look like some black confetti sprinkled across the edges of the paper. So I pulled out a couple of sheets. One was a scrap from before, and then I just cut a sheet in half. And then here I am pulling out my craft and carrier sheets. I'm going to sandwich this in between 2 of them. So one at the top, one at the bottom, and then between my normal sheet that I use with my laminator. I'm just rolling this back up to put it back in the container. It already came out of my hot laminator. It's pretty fast, and here's what it looks like. It's really pretty in person. You can't really tell that it's shiny in the video here because I don't have too much glare on my layout today for some reason. Usually I do, but today I don't have too much, so you can't really tell how sparkly and pretty it is unless you're looking at it in person. So I'm pulling out Bella Boulevard's EIEIO collection. I'm just going to embellish this. I'm going to pop a bunch of just random things on here. I'm going to build my title piece with this. So my title is going to say Yeehaw. I'm 2. I was going to say 3, but this is 2, not 3. So it's going to say Yeehaw. I'm 2. And then I'm going to pop that howdy down here. I'm going to pop a couple little wordy bits on. I like to embellish the 2 as much as I can without taking away from it. But I like to just give it some sass. So I'm just going to add some things and just pop a couple little things onto it. I'm going to pull out some little puffy epoxy stickers by Bella Boulevard as well. It goes with this collection. They're little animal stickers, but I just think they're super cute. And it just goes perfect with this layout because all of these photos are from at our farm. So it's just going to go perfect on this layout, and I think it's so cute. So here, I'm just going to go ahead and adhere my number 2 down on my layout because I know that I want it to go. Oh, you can see my little dot on my hand. I just noticed that. I was at a volleyball game, my school for my high school that I went to. They actually went to states, so they were competing, and they almost won. They were runners up, but I went to a game the other day, yesterday, and my little stamp on my hand is still there. But I just noticed that. So anyways, I am just adhering my number 2 down with some easy tear tape, and then I just popped that second part of my title up with some of the 3D foam tape. So here's those little epoxy stickers I was talking about. They're cute little puffy stickers. And then I just popped a little sun down, and I'll grab those a little bit later again, and I'll pop some animals onto this layout. It looks cool because the one that I add has a little hat, so it reminds me of a little party hat. It's just super cute. And then I'm just adding little wordy bits. I'm going to add the rest of my title on here with some Bella Florence alphas. And I'm not going to do too much to the stenciling on the sides. I really love the way that it looks. I just really maybe want to add a couple little things here and there, just scattered in there along with my stenciling. But I don't want to cover it up too much because I really love it, and I love the way that it looks. So I just finished that title. I'm going to add this little cow print heart right there at the bottom to finish that off. And I'm just going to grab one more thing from in here. It's a little wordy bit for the bottom. It's just going to finish off that bottom piece. Just running my tape runner along that to stick that down. Hi, baby girl. And I'm just going to add a couple more puffy stickers here. I'm just adding a couple on the sides just to enhance my stenciling. And, you know, it's funny because when I stop recording, baby girl is so quiet. As soon as I start talking, she starts talking too. So I guess it's like mommy like baby. But there's my cute little pig with the party hat. I think it looks like a party hat. I thought it was so cute. And add a little cow there. I'm going to add another little cow to the bottom. And I call those chocolate milk cows, the brown cows. And just pulling out some Elle Studio Puffy stickers. These are just some hearts and stars. I'm going to add a couple just here and there. And I'm going to add some over by my little party hat pig. And that's pretty much going to do it for this one. So if you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer. And thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you and all of your sweet comments. You guys are just absolutely amazing. So I will show you the finished layouts here in just a second. It should be coming up. Oh yeah, I forgot about this part. So I actually printed out the screenshot from my Facebook post from that day. So I just trimmed that down and I'm just going to add that on the side here for my journaling. I just thought that was super cute and I wanted to preserve that memory and my thoughts from that day. So here's what it looks like. This is the finished layout. I hope you guys enjoyed this and stop back for more videos. Thank you guys so much. Bye-bye.